Hello. I made a video response about a friend's ghost experiences that was relevant to who I responded to. But I figured I would talk about my own personal experiences. And I've only seen one ghost, so if you're expecting me to talk about lots of ghosts, then sorry, it's not going to happen. I've only seen one. But the rest of them are pretty good ones, I think. But let's see. Let's get this adjusted so the lighting doesn't suck. I don't think that's gonna happen. There's like no lighting in this apartment. Okay, this is decent. Can we agree on this? Okay, let's agree on this. Okay, so my first experiences, it was back around, I think I was in 7th grade. We had just moved into this house, and it was the first like house that we had lived in. Otherwise, like we lived in like swanky trailer parks. I don't know if anyone gets that concept, but it was like we lived in a trailer park, but it was like a good neighborhood. Everyone kept up their trailers, and like they looked like nice houses on the inside. So anyway, we moved into our new house, and in a couple months in, it was like in late October, I was in the room that I shared with my sister writing Harry Potter fan fiction. And I don't do that anymore, so don't worry, don't unsubscribe, please. But yeah, I was sitting there in alone, and in her room, it's kind of hard to explain unless you like kind of are familiar with older houses, but like had this thing called a bed closet, and like there's the closet, and then there was the bed closet, and the bed closet ended up being remodeled, and it ended up being my room, and it was just kind of like a big long room off to the side, and I ended up liking it, although it was like within my sister's room, so my sister was always like, "It's my room, I can come in." But anyway, I was in there by myself, and like in the far end of the room, I heard something like smack the wall, and I kind of put it off at first. I was just like, whatever. Like, I figured it was a dumb bird or a bat that hit the wall on the side of the house or whatever. And it happened again, and it happened again, and every time it happened, like, it kept happening closer together, and it kept happening closer to the door. And it kept happening, and I like everyone, I was like trying to ignore it, because I had decided that if I ever like encountered a ghost or had like a paranormal experience, I wouldn't freak out, I would wait it out, I would kind of want to enjoy it. So I was kind of excited, but at the same time I was scared. And then the last time it hit, it smacked into the door, and like the door shook, like someone physically like punched the door. And I was, so I ran out, and I went down to my family. I'm like, and my brother and sister come up with me because they like want to see it. They're like, yeah, yeah, because they're kind of into ghost stuff like I am too. And we go up, and the bed closet door, which had been shut prior to when I left and went downstairs, it was like open this much, and then like it pulled open by itself and then closed. And it never done that before. It had never done that before. Like, it was a light door, but you still had to turn the knob to get it to open and close. Like, it wouldn't just push open. So that was kind of scary. And then after that, the scariest thing that happened was I was in my brother's room playing Sonic Shuffle on the Dreamcast. I'm really making myself sound like a cool person. I was playing Sonic Shuffle alone. In case you don't know, Sonic Shuffle is like Sega's version of Mario Party, and there was only one version of it, and it was on the Dreamcast. So that pretty much covers how lame I used to be, and probably why I didn't have any boyfriends. And in my brother and sister's room, there was like little cubbies kind of off by the window, and then like the roof slanted. I don't know, but over there wasn't a door on it or anything, but kind of over in that corner, I started hearing growling, and it wasn't like a bear growl or whatever. It was like a demonic sounding growl. Like, it sounded evil. Like, I can't even like pretend to do it with my voice. Like, no human can probably do it. And it was really scary, and I tried to ignore that for as long as I could. And then it kind of went from like kind of growly to like something was there breathing, and like it was growling as it breathed. And I left then too. And then after that, after they remodeled that bed closet for me, I would be in there by myself, and I would hear kids running back and forth between Dustin and Rachel's room, my brother and sister. And I'd start, like, the first time it happened, I'm sitting there yelling at them. I'm like, you guys need to stop doing that. Like, you're gonna get hurt. I'm gonna be the one to get in trouble because I'm the oldest. That would happen. So they're running around, and then I hear it stop. So I like go downstairs. I'm like, you guys really need to stop running around. Like, you're gonna get me in trouble if you guys get hurt. And they weren't up there. Like, they hadn't been up there for hours. They were downstairs watching a movie or something. And they're just like, we weren't up there running around. I was like, oh, okay. And like, when all this stuff happened, I wouldn't tell my siblings. I would especially after the first thing that happened, I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want them to feel unsafe in their house. Like, I didn't feel unsafe. My parents didn't feel unsafe. Like, I told them about some of the stuff, and like, they were just kind of like, So I kept it to myself. I didn't tell them until they were older and we weren't in that house anymore. I thought I saw a bug. I thought I heard a bug too, so maybe this bug sounded bugs. Anyway, and yeah, so that's pretty much all that happened in that house. The footsteps, the growling, and the banging on the wall. And let's see. After that, the next recent thing that happened after that is I went to school, and my sophomore year of college, I just dropped out. Like, I dropped out after my first sophomore semester because I couldn't pay for it. So anyway, that's why I'm not there anymore. But that summer, between my freshman and sophomore year, I worked on campus, and I was going to be moving into Heffron Hall. And if you look up Heffron Hall on Google, like, it'll come up. Like, it is supposedly one of the most haunted places. Like, it was voted one of the most haunted places by, like, USA Today or something like that. And, like, that year my freshman year, some ghost TV shows actually wanting to come and do, like, an overnight thing, like, where they go in and totally do a study and set up the cameras. Like, you can look it up and read about it. Like, there's tons of stuff. And I was curious because I was wanting to live there, and, like, I was living on the 3rd floor, which is apparently the haunted place, but nothing happened to me when I was actually living there. But when I went in that summer, I wanted to see what the rooms looked like, so I snuck in because there was construction stuff going on. And I walked in and I heard down in a far room stuff being thrown around, and I was like, oh, I hope I don't scare whoever's working in there. And I walked down the hall and I was trying to, like, be like, I don't want to scare them, like, being careful. And I go down and there was nothing in there. There was no one in the whole building. There was nothing even in the room. It was just like the empty bed, plain mattress, and the desk. Like, there wasn't even anything that could have been thrown around. And I was just like, but then nothing ever happened to me. And the other thing that happened to me at school was I was in the theater, and I was in there for a class, for one of my theater classes, and I looked over, and, like, between where the stage was and where you could go back to the stairs to go up and, like, do the lights in the catwalk, there was a lady that I saw, and she was, like, all in white, and she walked from the stage back to the backstage area, and I was the only one that saw her. That's, like, the only ghost that I've ever actually seen. And after I kind of looked around the theater, I saw a portrait of this woman in the green room, and it was her. She was the woman that had donated all the money for the theater to be built, so that wasn't really surprising, and I didn't feel threatened by the spirit at all. It felt nice, so it's cool. She's still chilling, checking out her theater. And the other things that have happened to me more recently, the place I work now, I'm a janitor at a factory kind of place in town that's been around since the 80s, I think. They make plastic. I don't know how that's relevant, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything down there yet. Sorry, I got a text. I haven't seen anything down there yet, but I've heard stuff and I've felt stuff. It's mostly been feeling things. This one night, the whole time I was there, I was crying. Like, it was as if someone that I knew had died. Like a close family member. And it was so intense. And, like, that hasn't happened to me. Nothing has happened to me since. Like, is it, like, an empath or something? When, like, you can feel the pain of someone? And I tried my darndest. I went online and I was looking for things related to this company that could have happened to, like, the owner or someone there, if someone died that day. Like, I didn't find anything, but that was incredible. I was crying the whole time, and, like, that's the most scared I've ever been in my life, because I had no control over my emotions, and that was, like, one of the first times I've regretted kind of being sensitive to spirits, because I didn't like it. It didn't leave me alone when I asked it to, like it usually did. The only other thing that's happened is I heard someone open a ton of doors, walk down the hall, and puke on the floor. And I went down, there wasn't anyone there, and there was no puke. So that's great. That's wonderful. Puke is one of my biggest fears, so that's what the ghost tried to use against me, since it can't scare me just by being there, I guess. But, yeah. that is pretty much everything that I can think of off the top of my head that's happened to me. I'm grateful that I have these experiences. I hope I have more. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.